Hi, I'm Alea Barber, and I'm a criminal justice student here at A&T. And I chose my topic based off something that I felt like I could relate to and that many others could relate to as well. So, think back on a leader who you feel is a great leader. What do you think made them the great leader that you see them as? Well, a leader is classified as someone who leads or commands a group, a community, or a country. Is it possible for a leader to be an introvert and be a great leader? Many people would say no because they feel that introverts are too timid or too shy to be great leaders or to lead at all. But this is a common misconception about many introverts. What truly classifies an introvert? Many have their own mindset of what they think introverts are today. Many people have came up with their own definitions for it, their own ways to classify it. But Webster classifies it as someone who is shy or reserved and does not really like to spend time with people. Some of the synonyms that Webster used were introvert for an introvert was shy, timid, withdrawn, unsociable, bashful, and meek, in other words that relate. Personally, I think that to be shy and to be an introvert are not quite the same thing because when you're shy, you fear what others are going to say or how they're going to look at you. And that is what makes you not want to be around people. But when you're an introvert, you're not so much scared of what others are going to say. You just prefer to spend some time by yourself because you can find being around a whole bunch of people all the time very draining. An introvert feels that sometimes unnecessary conversations and like small talk can be draining and not always purposeful conversation. Most people see introverts as somebody that is shy, but that is not always the case. With this in mind so far, do you still believe that introverts are not capable of being a great leader? If your answer is yes to that question, then just think about Abraham Lincoln, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Steven Spielberg, Rosa Parks, Albert Einstein, Barack Obama, Dr. Seuss, and Gandhi. These are just a few of the introverts that show that they can be successful and lead people while being the introvert that they are. For example, Dr. Seuss, he liked to write his books in a room in the back of his house all alone. And he often feared that the children that met him would not like him because he was a very introverted person. But his books seemed to be like as if they were written by somebody that's very extroverted. But this didn't stop him because he loved what he did. He had a passion for writing the books for the kids. So he kept on writing, and not because he wanted the spotlight, but because he had a passion and he loved what he did. And this is an example of one of my main reasons why introverts make great leaders, because they don't do things for the spotlight or attention, but rather they do things because they feel the need to be involved with something. They feel a passion for what they're doing, or they want to help others, and this makes them a great leader. This also ensures that when they're doing things, it has everybody's best interest in mind, not only themselves, but they're doing things that can benefit themselves and others that they're leading. And this makes a great leader. There's also research by Adam Grant at the Wharton School that has found that introverted people provide better outcomes in the workplace than extroverted people do. This is because when you have an introvert, they're going to allow their employees to come up with their own ideas and share their ideas. This gives everybody a chance to bring something to the table. But when you have an introverted leader, they may be excited about or so ready to share what they have found that they may not give their employees the chance to truly come up with their own ideas to share. And then their ideas tend to overshadow the ideas of their employees. And it doesn't give people as much creativity, like space for creativity. And creativity is like the key to making for instance, like a successful job work. Solitude is crucial to creativity as well. This is proven by psychologists who have looked inside the minds of some of the most creative people and found that some of the most creative people indeed are introverted. Introvert people are more likely to come up with creative thoughts on their own as well, because when you're alone, you have the chance to create your own ideas for yourself and personally. But when you're around others, we tend to unconsciously collect ideas from others, and their ideas and opinions become part of our ideas and our opinions. So when you're around a whole bunch of people and you're about to make a decision or you're thinking of something, their ideas influence the way you may think of something or your decision. There's also many other things that introvert people bring to the table as a leader, because they are more willing to be careful and take less risk. It also prevents risky situations from happening in the workplace. They also carefully plan things and have great patience, which are great traits for people who have to lead other people. Introverted people also make it easier to work with them because they are very observant, so they're observing everything that's going on around them, and they're great listeners, so that makes working as a team a lot easier and makes stuff flow. This just goes to show that to be a leader does not mean you have to be the loudest or the best speaking person, but to have the best ideas and the best plan for those who you will lead. Do not get me wrong, introverts are great. I have many extroverted people, like friends, and majority of our leaders today are extroverts. But sometimes we all need the time to just sit down and be to ourselves and get our creative juices flowing without the influences of others. Both extroverted and introverted people have so much to learn from each other because they all contribute great things to the world. Leaders need followers, but in order to be a good leader, you need to be able to know when it's time to talk and when it's time to listen to the opinions of others. Being introverted does not mean that you are unable to lead. Anyone can be a leader with the right amount of drive. Some of our brightest minds are the quietest people, and some of those minds have been some of our greatest leaders. This is why introverted people can make some of the best leaders. Thank you.